Welcome back to The Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything between in the wide world of Warhammer. My name is Adrian, and today I'm joined by Shane. What's up, Shane?
Oh man, ton of traffic. Yeah, we're doing it early. We're starting early. Me and Adrian are going to do this show, play a game of Warhammer, and then head down to Anaheim for CTC, so
it's going to be very fun. 6 more games of Warhammer over the course of 3 days, which, by the way, correct way to do it.
Yep.
I like it for the teams event. So that's why we're starting a little bit early today. So welcome in, those of you who are able to time on into this. And of course, this is our once a month. We do our Thursday talk shows as a public stream, which is today. So not just for members, we can open it to everyone, come hang out, kind of see what we do. Every Thursday we have a talk show before our game where we discuss matters of the day. We'll do list reviews, we'll do some theory crafting, we'll do some lessons, you know, whatever is kind of relevant at the time. And today, of course, we're going to be talking about the future of 40k, future of Warhammer. We're going to be looking at some of the new releases, talk about some trends that we've noticed in rules writing, and say, well, what of this do we expect them to be carrying over? Do we think that this is a sign of things to come, and what maybe is not?
yeah, are the end times upon us?
The end times upon, exactly. Yeah. So I have lots of thoughts on that. We'll give everyone a second to kind of pile on in. Welcome in, everybody. What's up, Cthulhu Rising? I like their comment. The title doesn't sound very hopeful. Like King Theoden. Is this it? Is this all you can conjure? Yeah, this is what you got.
Yeah. Barrack Stormbrow is, that's all you get for 11th edition. No new models. That's it. Yeah, just to preface, we don't know any information about 11th edition. Nobody talks to us. I don't even know much about 10th edition, so.
That's fair, exactly.
Yeah, so we'll go with that.
And we're gonna be, we don't talk about like rumors and things like that there, because obviously that is kind of the kiss of death as content creators who do work with GW. So we're not going to be talking about any of that kind of stuff. We're just going to be talking about the facts, what we know, what we want to see, and that kind of stuff. So that is going to be the subject. Having said that, we would still love to hear your thoughts on the matter, what you are hoping for or worried about.
Yeah, and if GW, if you want, we'll design 11th edition.
Yeah.
If you really like what you hear.
We have thoughts.
We can help you
it's
out.
probably not too late.
You don't even have to pay me. I'll just help you out.
Maybe they haven't started on it yet.
Yeah, that's all right. I wait to the last minute too.
Yeah, exactly. Lavender Eye says, wait, there's a 10th edition? Oh, no. I'm still playing 4th.
Yeah. Must be a lot happier.
Yeah, oh man. Yeah, 4th was a wild time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Let's see, Nerds Interactive. Hi, did I already miss the future? No, you're good. We're not in the future yet, but we're going to be. Let's see, Combat Wombat, great name. Orcs don't feel that popular at the moment, so hopefully they have a strong launch. That's just anecdotal, of course. I just barely see them nowadays. Yes, Orcs have been sad for a while now. It's just, they've had such a tough run this edition between like Warhorde is cool, Warhorde is great, but it's kind of been the only detachment that's really consistently been able to competitively compete. The other ones fall off really, really hard. And then every time we get a new detachment, it comes out really, really strong and then gets just nerfed to oblivion. Yeah. Sometimes totally justified, in the case of like Mordaka, but sometimes, as with my beloved Blood Axes, they get done dirty, in my opinion. You know?
Tactical got nerfed for out of nowhere for no reason.
They were like, we know this is going to be a problem. You're like, is it though? Is it really?
Yeah. Like if you just look at it today, I wonder actually now, like looking back at all of like the past edition, was Orcs the most nerfed faction?
I mean, other than Eldar, possibly.
Yeah, I think those two are like really close. It's like, it seemed every different balance patch like were major nerfs.
Yeah, they got hit so hard. And it is a bit frustrating because I think they did a really good job balancing a lot of other factions. And like, I am not a Space Marine hater. There's enough of those people out there. I like Space Marines, you like Space Marines, everyone likes Space Marines. Even if you say you don't like Space Marines, you like Space Marines. Yeah. However, the amount of like triage that they did on that codex to make sure it was always up to date and always like playable. Like,
you know what drives me insane? And it is how much love there is for like one rules writer that loves Blood Angels.
Yeah, I know.
That he like fine tunes little things that are like, I'm like, oh, these are like nice, really nuanced changes. And then it's just like other factions don't get it. So it's just like.
It's so true. It's so true. So yeah, that's definitely a thing for sure. Let's
Yeah.
pop this up. Is this 11th?
Is this 11th?
That's not just a clickbait title.
11th is,
we'll talk
yeah.
about it.
You don't even play the game anymore. You just complain about your faction, and whoever has a more valid point wins the match. I mean, that's 11th edition.
Oh, so we're going back to first edition Sigmar.
Yeah.
I like it. Whoever has the longest beard.
Yeah.
That's why you're getting ready for 11th Votann.
Yeah. Well, I'm growing wider and shorter, so I'm trying to really embrace my faction.
That's awesome. Okaboka, welcome in. They say just started playing. I chose Attico. Attico? What? We need some help on that short form. As my first faction, I brought the Combat Patrol, but I don't know what to buy next. Ooh. Adeptus Custodes? Ooh. Let us know. If you're talking about Custodes, confirm. We can help you out for sure.
It's either that or Admech?
Yeah, it was one of those two.
Attico is a crazy way to call that if it's Adeptus Custodes, which is not wrong. I could see it. That's just what cool kids would call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gen Z.
Control All Doom loves how they're going back to retro roots. Admech. Okay, so it was the first thought.
Yeah.
Good way to get started with Admech. So funny enough, they just announced these silly boxes. Did you see the box that comes with one Onager, one Chicken Walker, and one tank? I was like, what the heck? Maybe not a starting point, but it's a good way to beef up just your mainline vehicles.
Yeah. You kind of choose one of those and you kind of go into them, and one of them's a wrong choice.
So I think Onager is the worst one, but they're actually pretty dang good.
Yeah, they have like a 4-up invuln or something.
Yeah, and the phosphor is crazy. It's like 12 2-damage shots that ignore cover. It's great. For Admech, I definitely start by getting at least a couple boxes of their troops. Those are essential to playing the faction.
Yep.
A transport would be good. 1 or 2 units of the jumpy squad is just going to be good basically across your builds, depending on how you want to do it.
The nice thing is they have a lot of stuff that is just good. Like there isn't...
it's hard to go wrong.
Not units that are right, but at least if you buy one of each box, like you're not in a bad position.
It's almost like just some things that are just not the strongest. It's easier to say like the priests are not amazing, the big robots are not amazing.
But they're like not like the worst either.
Yeah. So I would start with some troops, a tank, jumpy unit, some Sicarans, and some Rust Talkers.
Pick up Call if you haven't.
Call, yeah. And then you can start going into some of your tanks. Like Shane said, you can go into one of those categories, either the walkers or the tanks with like the Thermite cannons. Those are great. They're all valid options. So
great army. It's a really good spot right now.
Yeah. I mean, buying what looks cool is always the right answer, especially before a new edition, because who knows what's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, we're advising.
Things will change
based off the way it plays now.
We played enough, we just rotate. Yeah. I saw a meme recently about like Space Marine vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just like you just rotate between Vindicators, Rip X's, Lancers, and I forget like the fourth one is like
Ballistas.
Dreadnoughts, and you just keep doing it on rotation. It all comes back.
It's so true. Hey, what's up, Hephaestus? Thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and jump on into the meat and potatoes of this. Of course, as always, let us know your thoughts, your questions. We'll try to answer what we can. And of course, super chats also always are helpful. So with that, let's dive on in. So we're going to start with these recent releases as suggested by the thumbnail, because there are some new things that are appearing there that are worth talking about. Yep. So let's start with the Tau.
Yeah.
Let's see.
One of the biggest splashes was the Twin Lance.
Exactly. 1 second. Let me make sure.
We're figuring it out. Not our DoorDash order.
Yeah, exactly. Let me share Faction Pack Tau. Perfect. Awesome. And let me blow it up for y'all. Boom. Boom.
So, yeah. First thing we can kind of see here that's they've kind of done in like this last few kind of releases they've done are like they're going for these like really cinematic character releases.
Yes.
We've had like Titus, we've had Huron, and this is just like a kind of like also like this like Triumph of St. Catherine are these like almost diorama units. They're just loaded with rules to feel like really epic.
Yeah, we had Huron as well recently. Really exciting, really aggressive rules.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of text on them. Cool, fun abilities by and large, and quite powerful, honestly. Which is pretty interesting. So a couple things that are notable about the Twin Lance that is kind of new here. One, let's just kind of go in order on the data sheet. So first we have Exemplars of Mont Ka. Each time a model in this unit makes a range attack, Actually, sorry, this one doesn't matter for that. No, my bad. I'm like, what is this? This is the wrong example. The thing I want to talk about is the shooting in melee. This is something that players have asked for a long time. What if we could just use our guns in melee? Use guns as melee weapons. Now, take a journey back, right? Way back in the day, you had to be able to fall back to be able to shoot in combat. Tau had ways of either doing that or having insane overwatch with the whole army. That was the way they reconciled the fact that this is an army that doesn't have melee. So that was the answer for a while. Now, more recently, yes, you can sometimes fall back. Certain subsystems and suits can do that, but also just the way that vehicles work in the last couple editions, you can shoot if you're in combat just at a -1. That's cool. That's good. The difficulty with that is you are still now you're only interacting on your own turn, right?
Yeah, you only have one turn. You're only interacting in one phase. Like not being able to activate in most of the rest of the game was kind of tough, especially in like the past when you had psychic phase that they couldn't even like interact with.
Yeah, exactly. And when someone's fighting you, they're fighting. You kind of have your chump punches, but that's about it. And back in the day, you had Overwatch, so there was always like an extra phase to interact with. Now, shooting by and large, generically is going to be a bit stronger than melee in a number of regards. You're able to engage at a distance, you're able to stay safe.
You could activate multiple turns usually.
Right, yeah, you're going to have more activations. So there are advantages in there. However, it does put there's sort of a limiting design factor on the army. So now, for the Twin Lance only, currently, they said, okay, well, you know what? You're going to basically have like a weakened version of your main profiles. So you can see here, we've got the Fusion Boy has a single fusion shot. The Ion Boy has 3 shots instead of the often 6 shots. And then you do get your pulse pistols. Once again, now pistols can always be shot in combat, but now they also exist as a melee weapon. And this is really interesting,
yeah,
right?
Because you can get like you can shoot them with your pistol, and then you go there and smack them again with it.
Exactly.
What an insane unit!
It's pretty shocking. Yeah. Plus, it's just like a billion different guns, right? So it is ridiculous. So it's a very interesting choice. I'm curious what y'all hear and think about it in chat. We did talk to the members a bit when this came out, but do we like this? Do we want to see more of this? I have a couple different opinions, frankly.
It's interesting that like GW seems that they hate money.
Yeah.
Because like you think that like by now that they're sticking to their guns. They're like Tau is not a melee army.
Yeah, exactly.
But like if they made battle suits with like samurai swords, they would sell. They could not keep those on the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's always been sort of the argument is like, oh yeah, we need like the melee suit, the samurai suit, whatever.
Remember like back in the day, there was like the upgrade you could give a like crisis suit, which gave it like a power fist.
Oh yeah.
It was like
the Onager Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Which I think is still a Crusade relic. But that was cool, and losing that this edition did kind of suck. So just that big bonk. Yeah. I don't know if I want to see it on all suits. And it's not a power issue. It's partially a power issue. The thing is, if you have this on all suits, you have to point them appropriately. And it really, really changes the army. Suddenly, you're going to be much more elite because you're going to shoot and fight, and you're decently durable, and you're fast. Yeah. You're going to have to pay for that. So it could be cool.
But you're already like kind of there with Crude. Like Crude, like Rampagers hit pretty hard.
Yeah, the Rampagers, that's true. Yeah. Rampagers,
let's not discount Crude. We remember them. We stick up for them, but
But the Rampagers don't have shooting or durability, right? This would be a unit that does everything, so it would be very pricey. Now, Twin Lance currently way underpriced. That's a separate issue. But like in theory, if you made all suits be able to do this, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Maybe that's the thing in 11th edition. Everything's gonna be underpriced. Just everything.
Yeah. Is this 11th edition?
Yeah. Double the size of the armies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They could do them like the Robot Samurai things from Red Alert 3 Uprising. Yeah, that'd be sick, honestly.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think I would love to see this on some suits. Like maybe certain suits are equipped for this. So like Sunforged suits, maybe they already have the Invuln Save, they have the Fusion. They are sort of equipped. Maybe it's a subsystem that you have that gives you this additional profile.
Yeah.
And that way you can have your suits that are not so expensive, kind of like the price now, and then you can have your ones that really just like do it all. I'm not opposed to an elite army. I think as I get older, those horde armies are just not appealing to me.
Right.
But it would be a give and trade, right? Like even as Tau players, we can't just be like, oh, do we just want all this melee and shooting? Like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Would you be okay with giving up a chunk of your army for that?
There's certain ones, like it makes sense. Like Riptide, I think, is kind of like the quintessential like giant robot. Like totally imagine it getting in people's faces and gunning them down. I mean, I do feel like I think this design philosophy of that, like you can't interact, like you should be a specialized thing in like part of the game, but doesn't mean you shouldn't have access to everything. Like people are like world eaters shouldn't be able to shoot, but it's just like it's a full chapter. And then, like, in the lore, they do support, they have got characters with, like, heavy bolters and things like that. If it's just only a one-phase army, like, you're just limiting yourself with so many things. And I think this is a very clean and, like, cool way to do it rather than being like, hey, we're just making Terminators, but, like, putting them up, like, giving crisis suits weapons. It's, like, the same thing. So
I think that's a good way of putting it. And, and it's kind of rhyming with what Chad is saying, you know. Soundless Fern is saying all suits getting melee pistol gives them a bit of brawling, but not too oppressive. You know, Melody's saying seems like half the attacks at -1 to hit seems to be something they're trying out for guns in combat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point too. We talked about the half shots, but it is also, you know, they're still hitting on 4s and 3s instead of the 2s here. So
yeah, you don't have a lot of support for it, but yeah, they should be able to do something.
Exactly. No leaks today, Edward. Sorry. No leaks ever on this channel, but so that's. I think it could be cool. I'm on board. Oh, the other thing I was thinking about the other day is there are these extra guns. They're literally like extra guns on some of these suits. Like the Riptide has like the twin up top, which you can have like twin flamer or twin plasma, and it's like always a little awkward. It doesn't really do much. Yeah. Like it'd be cool to just basically make those function just as melee weapons, right? Yeah. And that would give you a bit of fight,
like a defense system. Yeah.
Exactly. So that'd be pretty sick, actually. So. Yeah, exactly. The problem with Tau being treated like a one-phase army for shooting is that it hasn't been the best army in that phase once in 10th. Yeah, fair. They have definitely been lacking there for sure. So it also takes the pressure off that. It also means that they don't have to... Tau, there is this sort of stereotype of everyone hates Tau. And part of that comes from, is two things. One, the classic Overwatch and like the non-interactivity ability of them. And then two, when they shoot real good, and they can just like table you in a turn. Yeah.
Old Tau design philosophy was, hey, I need to like destroy my opponent before they reach me. Yeah. And so it just kind of made this binary game of like one person at the table is not having fun. Either you got reached with Tau, and then you're like, well, I'm just dead now. Yeah. Or like that you shot them off the table, and everyone's like, well, I hate these guys.
Yeah. Exactly.
So this is kind of like a nice way of kind of bridging. Is like, yeah, if they can reach, but then they can kind of balance out, like, to make them need to shoot as hard as long as they, like, can do this, but, because, like, yeah, if they go all in on shooting and they're, like, just amazing, like, it's not fun. It's not a good design program.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I do want to thank a couple of folks for their super chats. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you, Nurgle Matt, as always. Nurgle Matt says, hey, favorite Titans, probably, with a Tau apostrophe. Great guys, digging this recap. Thanks so much, Nurgle Matt. Appreciate it. Appreciate everything that you do for the community. So thank you.
Also, a great supporter.
Yeah, it was 777, obviously. I also want to thank Monarchier1. Thanks so much, as always. I just wanted to say thank you both for playing Votann so well lately. Aw, thank you. Now buy more Thunderkin. Yeah, that's fair.
I have more Thunderkin coming. Yeah.
Always more.
Yeah. I have 18, so.
You that must be nice.
I think it will surprise you how much Votann I've gotten in the last
I'm scared. I know, you just got 3 more boxes of Berserks.
Yeah. I have 30 now, which is like a good number, but I'm like, what if I got more?
Yeah.
Bjerg's coming out, like I could do that, get another one in there.
Yeah, always.
It's a cool army. I just love dwarves. Across like every system.
They're so cool. They're so stylish too. Yeah. We were saying yesterday or Tuesday, like it's an army that you love or you hate aesthetically because it's such a strong opinion. You know? Yeah. It was funny, like I couldn't remember where you landed on your list. I was like, because we've kind of, gone around the circle.
I don't remember where I landed on my list.
We ended up making very similar lists, actually. Yeah. They were different detachments, but it was actually very similar.
That's actually like the really fun thing about them, which I think is a good design thing, or bad maybe, is that you can take like 90% of your list and then like, it kind of focuses in one area. Yeah, exactly. Like my Hearthbound list is like, I was just telling him like, if I just trade out all those like Hearthguard for Berserkers, it's just the same list. Like, it's just Delve Assault then.
Which is kind of nice. It's like very modular, right?
Exactly. Honestly, I think Votann are the best army if you're just getting into the hobby, trying to learn the game. I think it's like one of the best armies to start playing.
It is just kind of classic Warhammer. You got some shooting, you got some fighting, you got lots of transports.
They're like, play how Marines should play.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like without all like the fancy flash and nippy stuff.
And not just like spamming out tanks.
Well, while we're talking about Votann, should we move on to our...
I think we shall.
Other guy that who kind of gives us some information, like interesting changes to hero design.
Absolutely. So let's go down to Mr. Barrick. Also, it really bugs me that it's Stormbrow, not Stormbrow.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Classic. TM, I guess. All right, Shane, you want to talk about this one?
All right, so this is someone I'm really excited about. Like, in 3 more patches right before they get a new codex, they'll drop his points to an appropriate level. Because right now, he's just too many points.
Yeah, it's just a bit too much.
Like, for being a beat stick, like, having beat stick characters is awesome and stuff, but, like, generally you get, like, 1 good charge off with them, and then that's, like, the game. But one of the most interesting things that we're like, is this a design thing with maybe 11th edition coming out, is he's one of the only characters that I know of that gets to keep his buff that he gives to a unit, even if the unit's not there.
Exactly.
If you notice that his Break the Foe gives sustained hits to the units, most people have to be leading a unit.
Yeah.
There's so many times where I've been caught off guard when I was playing like my Ultramarines. They'd kill everything except for Calgar and his 2 bodyguard units. And it's like, oh wait, I'm actually stuck in combat because he has to be leading.
Oh, that's so silly. Yeah. Your librarian forgets how to do spells.
Yeah, like how to give like his invuln save because he's just like, well, no one here worth protecting. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like a very minor change, but it's kind of nice.
Doesn't suffer from loneliness. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I got work to do. So I thought it was just a super interesting design. It would be kind of nice because I know why they have to be careful. They don't want you to run Hero Hammer. They don't want you to take like 20 heroes because heroes are generally really efficient. I think there are ways of controlling that and mitigating that.
Yeah.
But it is one interesting change for like seeing in the heroes.
I think that's exactly why they did it at the start of the edition, was make it so that these abilities are only in effect while you're leading, because they don't want you to spam out lone characters that aren't supposed to be lone characters. But the end result is like this awkwardness of like, well, narratively it feels weird. Gameplay-wise, it's easy to forget. It's just, I just don't think, I don't think it was worth what they avoided, you know? And instead, we should look towards what are ways that you can design it so people don't want to take lone characters via other ways, you know? So that's a thing. Your buff, our buff comrade.
God, and he's so cool. He's got a pick and a hammer.
This guy is sick. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He was super fun to paint up too. Nice and
I
easy.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I really wanted to.
You wouldn't know. Like, you can borrow him anytime, but he's gonna be in our colors.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So, whole new meaning to loan up. Yeah, exactly.
I like they gave him just like 2 extra. Like, he also just beats people with his
They're
fist.
so funny. We were saying like it's the fists, but what if it's actually the orc head?
He does.
Just, like,
He's smacking you with it.
It's so random. Like 2 extra attacks, AP2.
I want to magnetize and just have a bunch of different heads.
That's what. So as soon as I finished painting, I was like, oh man, I should have swapped out the orc head because it'd be like too offensive for me, and then make it like a Custodes or like one of Bridger's other armies.
Yeah. Every game, you're like, let me pop this in.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Yeah, it's not like this is like a huge like, oh my god, this is the secret we've uncovered.
Yeah, that's it. Big news.
That means the Emperor is coming back because Barrick Stonebrow gets sustained hits when he's not with a unit. But it could be just like a nice little change. But we've also seen some like other changes to characters we wanted to talk about.
Absolutely.
And,
so go ahead.
So one of the big changes that could be in 11th edition that we're starting to see with these last few detachments is named characters getting specific enhancements if you take them in specific detachments.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I want to pull up the Eldar.
I think this is a cool move by GW that they're trying to emphasize, like, hey, we want you to take more fluffy detachments. We want you to take, like, the Yanari is a good one. It's like, if you take him in your specific, I don't know, elf words, like, coterie.
Yeah.
That he gets like extra abilities. We saw this with Titus and like, well, all the Space Marine ones. If you take these like specific chapter guys, cool, you unlock things, which like people have been wanting to. People kind of want this like we kind of lost the narrative in the last 2 editions.
Yeah.
The editions have been great for balancing because a balanced game is a good game. It's more fun, but there's not really stories being told as much. It's a lot of go stand like on this thing that's not even supposed to be there. Like the neoprene like objectives have created this, and so we kind of just don't really tell a story anymore. We're like playing a game.
Again, this is kind of a simplified, not simple edition. So they shaved off a lot of things. They got rid of chapters. Again, got rid of chapters. But that also creates like a have and have not. Like you either have Gilliman and Calgar or you don't, right? And then they started to slowly fix it because of what you said with the space Marines, right? So they're like, oh, if you take Lysander gets this in this attachment. 4 rerolls to wound on his Terminator unit. Like that's legit. I might actually think about taking him, right? So that's very, very interesting. And then with the Corsairs detachment, they did something different where they basically allow you to take enhancements on units that normally cannot take enhancements, right? Normally you cannot attach an enhancement to a unique character, a named character, because that's just not how that ability works. But instead, they actually allow you to do that so you can customize Uriel and Karseth, who are both unique, and give them different abilities based off of the different attachments.
Yep.
And what this does is it lets you kind of have an interaction with those characters, but it puts it more in a box, right? Where a lot of this edition, they've been scared about the combinatorics of everything.
Yeah.
If you give us all these things, we'll find a way to game it to make this like obscene combination. But this way they can say, cool, one of them is like a Vect, and you can get Vect on Uriel, but only in this attachment. And so that lets you actually limit it. I think it actually was one of these ones.
Yeah.
But you get the idea.
It's cool. It unlocks new play patterns for and gives you reasons to take these other ones that you can't just balance, where it's just like, like the Karn's always good in Berserker Warband because he gets the +2 strength +1 thing, but like, then they can kind of do some more fine-tuning things and adjust like these enhancement points and stuff, or just give it to them.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me actually of like Warlord traits, and it's really funny that those went away. That's one of my big hopes for 11th edition.
Warlord traits?
I think there should be like when you declare Warlord, it should matter, and it shouldn't be just like a negative for.
The funny thing is,
it used to be like a negative that used to get extra points for killing the Warlord.
So there was a, what would you call it these days? I mean, it was like a tertiary, basically. Extra points, slay the Warlord, kill the Warlord. They got rid of that. This edition, they've almost completely got rid of Warlords, right? Until recently. The only thing that cared about it, there was a couple things that cared about it, but most notably really was just the Imperial Knights getting to unlock their things once they killed your Warlord. And that was it. That was the only reason to have a Warlord in your list. And now that that's changed, it literally does nothing for you. There's no reason to have a Warlord. I could go either way. I think having more in it would be cool. Or just get rid of the concept entirely. If you're not going to do anything with it, don't do anything with it.
I think there's something about like having someone specifically leading your force. We read about these like great characters or make your own characters that it's like, okay, it should matter. This is one way of doing it.
Exactly. So again, definitely a new and interesting trend. I don't know how I feel about it in some ways because named characters are traditionally already very strong.
Yep.
And this gives them even more power. That was supposed to be the downside to them, is you can't take enhancements on them. So does this just push us further into named characters being auto takes or just being very strong compared to the generic characters? Again, especially in the era where they've taken away a lot of the combos intentionally from the generic ones. This puts even more power into those pre-designed named characters where not everyone wants to. I mean, I don't want to take Calgar at every battle or whatever. I don't think Uriel is definitely not an auto take, but by and large, named characters are very strong.
It's one trend that's like kind of unfortunate. It's just like what's going for like the strongest builds are like orcs have to take gas. Like without it, like they're just it really doesn't feel like that. Call pretty much changes how the entire like AdMech army functions. It's just like. I don't like anything that's like force you into an auto take.
Right. It's like, from a balance perspective, I'm okay with like Gaz being overpowered, Morvenn Vahl being powered, whatever. That's fine because they're so essential. The problem is though, from a player experience, you have to take them in, right? You have to do it. And like we're tournament players, so like when you go to tournaments, you want to build the best list you can, which means you're always going to take this unit, and you want it to feel like a choice to like play the mainline WA or maybe play like a scouting force, right?
Yeah.
And we really don't have the choice right now. Like if you're taking some of those armies, you have to take those things. Yeah.
they're almost like the key thing that actually holds the army together. Without them, it's like not an army. Cue that meme about like if you're not good enough without or with the suit, then you don't deserve it.
Exactly. Melody says, isn't it better that Gaz's auto take over like 3 shock attack guns? Something is always going to be the best.
Something is always going to be the best. Yeah,
but does it have to be? Does it have to be? I think so. So here's the thing. It's interesting. Like, Games Workshop has had a trend over the last few years of betting on themselves, which I respect, but I am skeptical of. And let me explain that. It goes back to faction-specific secondaries. When they introduced faction-specific secondaries, I was like, wow, that is awesome for diversity. Everyone's going to be doing their own thing. You know, again, the orcs can play the way they want to play. The Votann can play the way they want to play. Whatever. That's cool. But the problem is, if they're not perfectly balanced, some armies are just going to be better than others because of those.
Yeah.
And so it was an interesting decision where they bet on themselves, where they said, yeah, we're going to be able to design these and balance these perfectly. And guess what? They couldn't. They didn't. The Sisters one were busted. The Orcs one were busted.
Yeah.
Some of them were terrible. The World Eaters ones were legendary and awesome. But by and large, it was a decision that did not pan out, right?
It was an interesting choice because it was like, this is not a good book. But like the secondaries made it like actually like it can play the game.
Right. Which like the World Eaters were, I think, a good example of what you could do with faction-specific secondaries.
Yeah.
But again, it creates this have and have not, which is something that Chad is also kind of talking about right now, where that is the concern with this, with named, not named, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
For the most part, like, as like a World Eaters player, it's like, people want to play Angron. Like,
that's true.
People are going to take the epic heroes anyways. So it's like, if they're insane, like, like they're going to try to find a way or justify it.
Exactly. Let's see, Valaquenta, thank you for the question. Do you think that they're going to help Eldar be a little easier to succeed for normal people? They're struggling like hell right now. Yeah, I think Eldar are absolutely suffering from that. Where if you're at the tippy top of Eldar, they can still perform quite well. But for your average player, like most of us, it's really, really tough out there. And that's an Eldar problem where their design, again, you have like the fantasy of the army, and then you have the implementation on the table. And ideally, those things connect, right?
Yep.
Eldar are frail bodies, they're fast, they're nimble, they have good technology, good training.
Yeah.
They're not the toughest. They're probably not the most hoardy. So how do you translate that?
They're like the class dagger. And
exactly.
But like they definitely need help. And if that's a problem at like the top tables, I think that is something that's like, well, that's just going to be versus like the majority of people suffering.
Yeah, it's tough to balance. I think they in order to do that, they need to give up on a little bit of that fantasy or change a little bit of that fantasy, right? Where there may be a little bit less glass cannon, but they're more playable by the average player, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem is if you make it too easy to play, it's like, well, elves are just, you can't catch them, they're uninteractable, that's too strong. But if you pull it back too much, well now, unless you perfectly place your models, they're just gonna die, which is where we're at right now, because they're very expensive, blah, blah, blah. So like, I think they need to be a little bit less precious with that fantasy of the elves in order to make it more accessible for more players. And that, I agree, I think make them have to deal with that.
I don't have a clean fix, it's a thing that's like, it definitely will require like a lot of rewrite.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel you, Valaquenta, absolutely. Like, I never hardly get to play my Harlequins these days because they, I don't need my army to be the best, but sometimes they're so bad that it just is not a good time and the fantasy is completely dead for you, right?
Yeah, it's like you don't want to be Sisyphus, constantly pushing the boulder uphill.
Kaldorf brings up a point, which is something I think is going to happen and is happening currently overall. He says, I would take flavor and unbalanced versus bland and balanced, coming from a non-competitive player. I, hot take, think that is true. I think that's better for everyone, actually.
Wow, I'm actually in the opposite.
Yeah, okay.
One is, so this is like, I'm thinking of like the friends playing in their buddy's garage, never go to a tournament, maybe never even see a thing. It reminds me of a story from our like childhood of like, when we were getting into like Magic the Gathering, it was like we're in middle school, we pulled all of our Magic cards together into like one thing, and that was it. That was like the entire collection, and there was balance. Right. But as soon as one of us discovered you could go to the card store and pay like 30 cents to get like the perfect card, it created this like arms race. And so it's like, It sucks like when you're like in the old edition, I'm thinking of like 5th edition Grey Knights, where it's just like one faction just dominates everything. It's like no reason to show up.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with like release Death Guard, release
So
other armies where it's like, if they're flavorful but like unbalanced, it's just like a balanced game I think leads to a more like a better game.
No doubt about that. And I think a balanced game is better for everyone. Competitive players, narrative players, casual players. No doubt about that. I totally agree. But I think I would like to see them take bigger swings and miss rather than take safe swings and not hit. And someone even brings AOS in regard to this, because I think that's absolutely what happened this edition with AOS. The game has been much more kind of balanced overall, very kind of level set, but we lost a lot of the flavor. And with AOS, that's even a bigger of a problem than for 40k, right? I think these rapid fire releases that we're seeing, right? We've had all these books over the last couple of months. We know that we've got the, Eye of Terror book coming up, even Grotless from the last year and this year. All those things are arguably bad for balance because they're just more releases, they're gonna have to balance them.
Yeah, it's insane in the fact that there's like no like, like every morning we're just like turning like, oh, I guess we're doing orcs today now.
Dude,
like,
it's crazy. There's been so much.
I'm like, oh, here's a new knight, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not good for balance because it's going to shake everything up. But it's going to shake everything up. It's going to give us new things, and they've been quick enough to fix the mistakes as they come out. I think they found a good cadence between like releasing things often enough and fixing them often enough, but not so often. We're right on the cusp of being too often for a more casual player.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say I'd rather have more unbalanced than balanced. I'd rather than take those swings and fix them than just like play it safe and not have any new releases except for every 3 to 6 months. Right?
Yeah. And they also want like non-static. Like they kind of design where they're like, you know, it's something that has to be on the bottom, something has to be on the top, and then we change it because then it stirs that. Or that can just be my like conspiracy brain of like.
I think a lot of the conspiracies for GW are
all true.
Undeserved. I think we give them too much credit sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's just a big company and there's a lot of different departments and sometimes it works out for them and sometimes it doesn't. But the number of misses that they've had with new releases where it's like, new.
Oh, you have like a red dot on your shirt. Oh, it went away.
Oh, God. Yeah. Right on the forehead.
Yeah. It's coming through the window back over there.
I just think, like, look at the new amazing Kroot line that nobody bought because the rules were not busted, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're not, I don't think they're capable of it.
Kroot we could argue about, like, I think Kroot are also, like, people that generally play Tau are not like, you know, I'm here for the Kroot.
If the Kroot rules
There's like 3 people and one of them will be in chat and they'll be like, oh, look, I'm here. But like,
if the Kroot rules were good, they would have bought them 100%.
I mean,
in a second they would do it.
There is that problem of like, people generally get stuff because of the rules.
I think so. I just don't think GW is capable of pulling the strings as well as we think that they might be. But let's see. Enhancements, things like that, name characters, all that stuff. It's funny because you guys are actually hitting some of the points we want to talk about.
Yeah, you're stealing our ideas.
You're stealing our ideas. Who said it? Someone said Subfactions.
Yes.
Mitch says 11th is the edition of Subfactions. I think very possibly.
I agree. I think we're going to see a lot more of this, like, hey, we are going to make this lore thing, and if you take it, like, this character is going to, like, unlock more stuff for you. Like, we're going to see, like, Raven Wing stuff that we, like...
Well, I mean, they're taking these big swings with models. So rules are cheap, models are expensive, right? And yet we have Eldar Corsairs in plastic again. What the heck? Red Corsairs in plastic. This is crazy. You know,
we're getting Iron Wars. We're actually getting... It sounds like, and they've been like really pushing a lot of stuff out. Like, this is Night Lords. Like, I can see Chaos getting like finally like the love that
I never thought we would see
the Space Marine factions get.
Yeah, I think it might be again. Now
it's a no-brainer, but like,
there could be a thing with this. This could just be end of edition releases, right? Just cool projects. Keeping us talking and buying stuff while we're waiting for the, you know, again, alleged 11th edition, but we know that the cycle is on 3 years, so we can assume it's going to be coming up, right? So it could be part of that. I hope it's not.
There's no 11th edition.
I know, right? Then we're going to really have egg on our face.
Yeah.
It could just be that, but also it could be a new direction, and we are going to see more love for these sub-factions, and I would absolutely love that. You know, I think there's a time last edition, where we're like, it sucks that like all of these Space Marines need to be this color, because it's Subfactions.
We talked about that earlier. It's like, I'm glad that they're moving it, but they do give you love if you want to be that person.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Exactly. And these bespoke kits, it's very cool. I think also like them trying to squat Death Watch also created a lot of uncertainty, where it was like, are these kits not selling? Is it too costly? Because we have to think about like, what is the business reason behind them doing this? And then it's like, again, it's the same reason. I'm a Harlequin player, but I understand if they have less support for Harlequins, it's probably pretty niche interest space clowns.
Yeah.
But then they go and release these, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's fine. Maybe they are willing to do these smaller releases.
It's so funny because it's just like, that's like the one I thought they were going to release a kill team was for Harlequins.
Yeah.
Because it's like, makes sense, a small squad-based thing.
Exactly. So I think there's a strong potential for it. I'm a little bit uncertain because we are in this weird time period where the books are all out. You know, we're kind of waiting, but also getting a lot of new stuff. So I hope it means we're going to get more love for Subfactions in the future.
Yeah.
You know?
You mentioned squatting.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's really interesting, that's scary, is kind of thinking about 11th edition.
Okay.
Not to make anyone panic, but it's like, what do you think's going away?
Oh,
one of the very interesting, this last data slate, is like, they won't even, I don't even think they mentioned it or had it on the list of like things that were updated, is like Imperial Agents.
No,
which is like,
I appreciate you have a voice for the Imperial Agents players.
Right, like, it's sad because it's a big box of potential. The current form of it is flawed, and that's why people dismiss it. But Imperial Agents and the Inquisition is a big part of Warhammer lore.
Yeah.
And it's important. And they have just decided they are not, for whatever reason, have not addressed it in 2 balanced data slates. Like, the only thing that they like tried to do was make changes to be like, to disincentivize people even to allying with it. That was their change. They're like, no, don't play with a weird kid. That was their vibe. And it's unfortunate because it's a really cool concept. Where it's just like, people love that aspect of Warhammer and Warhammer War.
They do, but do they?
Yeah.
That's my question. Do they want a full army from it? I don't think it was their best stab is the problem, right?
Oh, I think it was a bad attempt at it. I think people would have shown up if they fully like went all in.
I was surprised, skeptical, excited when they announced the book. And then the rules were just not real, you know? Part of it is this kind of, I'm so torn about it. I don't know, because I agree. I think they are very, very cool. But yeah, you're right. They haven't made any attempt to balance it, even though it's clearly not performing well.
It's not performing, like they're just not even addressing it, and then they're trying to like disincentivize you for.
So do you think we may not see this next edition? Do you think it was like a one of? And
I think it's gonna be a one of. Which is sad because
it is sad.
I think there's like a lot of cool things. It is unfair if we're gonna go to like a competitive sense. Is you essentially had this grab all faction that like you could borrow whatever you want for allying in stuff that like no other army even kind of got anything remotely close. Like Necrons don't have like friends they can borrow from.
Oh yeah, well that's the Imperial bias, right?
Exactly, the Imperial bias. It really hammered on like the Imperial bias. Draxus is just an insane character that like never got like hammered down for like till the end of the edition.
Yeah, I think she was okay. Like she's good, but like she's not abusive. Like that's the kind of the deal we make as Xenos players, is not getting that.
It's
you know,
it's a problem. Is current trend with Custodes are taking no Custodes characters and taking Draxus. Like Draxus is the warlord in like the
that's
Custodes.
crazy.
Yeah,
well, there's definitely weird stuff happening with Custodes right now, right? No denying that.
But like, it's this weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I really am uncertain about the future of Imperial Agents. I'm uncertain about future of Death Watch and Demons, obviously, as well, you know?
Yeah. Demons is weird.
Did we save them, or did we just forestall their death? I think there's a decent chance that they only exist in the Trader Codex's next edition. I think that could be an option. I would be very sad. Demons is literally my second biggest collection after Orcs. People forget that sometimes, but I love
Demons.
I love Demons.
It's just so weird because it's like so integral to everything. The fact that they didn't get a Codex this edition was like crazy.
Yeah. So clearly there was going to be, I mean, literally, it felt like they were going to try to kill it, right?
Yeah.
And then, so, all right, let me put in context for those of you who are not familiar. They were going to get rid of Death Watch. That was like basically announced, and then everyone was like super upset, and then they came back, they said, okay, just kidding, you can keep this index, that's fine.
We're gonna make the greatest attachment out there.
Yeah. And then we just never got a demon codex. And after a while, everyone's like, okay, I guess we're not going to get them. They started seeing the units introduced into the other ones. They did do the Grotmist attachments for them. And so it's a little bit uncertain. Like, the assumption is that the Death Watch outrage influenced that, and the demons stayed in.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next edition? I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know.
Like, I could see a world.
Demons are new
I'm not going
agents.
to say it's the right world or the wrong world of going, like, folding them into the cult ones, because, like, yeah, Nurgle stuff wants to play with Nurgles. And they had the opportunity to test the waters with that.
Yeah.
But they made them so hyper specific of like, you can only take them in this one detachment. Like, it kind of made.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. If they're going to be folded in, it's not my ideal. I could be at peace with that as long as they're fully folded in, which is the way it used to be.
Yeah.
In even 5th edition, like my CSM book literally came with demon units inside of it, and they were full units you could take.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to integrate them and make them like not just one detachment. You know?
The Khorne like demon, but Khorne Demonkin of 7th edition was one of the coolest,
that was so sick.
Like, editions, and it actually felt like a good blending of these two forces. Where I'm like, I can see that. Like, Khorne stuff wants to do Khorne stuff. I get that the demon gods aren't really supposed to get along with each other. Yeah. You don't really get like incursions where it's like, oh, you have changelings here, and then like backed up by bloodthirsters.
Yeah,
it's such a faction. Like, it's just weird, like that they aren't addressing it, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's.
I feel for demon players right now.
It's a big question mark going into it. So, let's see, real quick. AK, GLXY, respectfully, does every faction need to have equal ability? Allying is exclusive to Imperial for a reason. I agree. I don't think everything needs to have everything. I think they need to be mindful of the balance that the units provide. I don't think we necessarily need to have allies for everyone. This is going to lead directly into the last kind of section, and that connects to the super chat, is structure versus no structure, right? And complexity, less complexity.
Yeah.
And so right now, the current philosophy in this edition has clearly been less allies, right? Much more restricted allies.
Yeah.
Partially because they want to avoid the wombo combo that traditionally comes with that, right? Which, you know, we have seen a little bit with Imperial, but by and large, you know, if you've been around long enough, you've seen Taudar, you've seen Adeptus Mechanicus with the Librarius Conclave summoning demons as an army. Shout out to Jeff. Yeah. And they wanted to avoid that. So more restrictive allying, there's that. But then within your army, sky's the limit. You can do anything. There's not even a battle line restriction. Now the first packet or 2 packets gave bonuses for battle line. Remember that? Yeah. That's completely gone now. So there is nothing telling you what to take.
Yep.
Question is, will we see that next edition? Traditionally, we see editions that are complicated, followed by simpler ones. We see editions with more structured, followed by editions with less structure, and they go back and forth. Because we all say, I'm tired of there being no structure, give us like Force Orgs, and then they give us
people
Force
are like,
Orgs.
I missed the Force Orgs.
Yeah. And then we do that for edition, and we're like, too much structure, give us more flexibility, and they swap. So traditionally, we flop back and forth. So if we're coming from a time period of less structure, are we going into a time of more structure?
Yeah.
That's the question, sorry, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Andrew Middlemoss's question in the super chat, thank you, say, should 11th edition detachments start restricting units? Space Wolves don't get intercessors or assault intercessors because of Blood Claws and Grey Hunters, for example. That's the question.
I actually think that could be a really interesting trade-off. It depends on the factions, because some factions just don't have enough units to support this.
Right.
But I think there should be units like, the best example of this, I think, where it kind of causes an issue is, let's look at Stormlance, which is supposed to be the biker slash like storm speeder, like fast attack one.
Right.
But it's like, you know what? Actually, who needs speed? Like their limiting faction was Terminators, and it made like Deathwing Terminators like ruled the for a while, and it's like, is it cool that you were able to kind of like change the how things like acted because of this openness? But also it's like, should it be restricted? Should like the fast attack one be able to take Terminators because it's kind of like an odd thing?
Right.
I could see that as a balancing thing. You could also give more power to certain detachments by restricting things, because like
totally.
That's one thing GW is not really good about, is that they don't realize that there has to be like a cost and change. Sometimes they just take things away without giving anything.
Right.
And sometimes they just give armies buffs for no reason.
Yeah.
With like not having any downside. So it's like,
I like that a lot. You can do more with it, which is kind of what we've seen a little bit. As far as like reducing the rules, right, and reducing those combinations, but they could do. It's like you get less choice, but you get a trade-off. Yeah, and there's something fun that could can happen there.
You see it a lot in game. Like it's like, okay, you can't take Terminators, but like your bikes are better than normal bikes.
Right,
would be a thing rather than you just can't take Terminators. With like doesn't feel good.
So, and this is also what I was referring to earlier when I said GW has been betting on themselves, right? Yeah. Right now, there's nothing that tells you have to take Battle Line. There's nothing that tells you have to take a Balanced Force.
Yeah.
That's Games Workshop saying, we will balance the game so that your best bet is to make a Balanced Force, which I think they've been moderately successful at. Right now, that statement doesn't age well because we're living in Catan hell, where it's all characters and monsters, but by and large, it's been much more of like, I mean, I'm taking my guard list looks completely like a White Dwarf cover. I've got my 2 battle tanks, my 2 transports, my 2 bricks, my little scout units, things like that. And it's on them to incentivize you. Now, Space Marine players, everyone knows you only take 5 units of intercessors in a competitive list. That's not exactly battle line being good. That's like 1 battle line being good. So maybe they missed the mark a little bit with that. But
it was very like have and have not of like, are your like troops good? That could make your whole codex.
Yeah.
We're like, cool, my troops are custodies. Like I don't care.
So like, that is the fear, exactly, right?
Like having to take tactical Marines and take 3 units of it like is a huge chunk of points of units you don't really want to take.
Yeah, I don't like the concept of taxes. That's something I want to be wary of. Andrew Middlemass adds with another super chat, restrictions when there is a clear alternative. Yes, I think that's fair. Cool choices to be made. Look, we're all gamers. Yeah. We'll play with whatever box they give us. I would prefer that the box be in the shape of what looks like a cool narrative and sets up cool armies, and I'll compete within that for sure. Just if you make it a weird shape, we're going to do that too. Know that, Games Workshop, right?
That's the main thing is like, you have to have like equal exchange. If you take, then you have to give somewhere. If you give somewhere, you have to take. Like it should feel like a choice, not just this is the best.
Thank you, Marsh Glyph, for the super chat. Appreciate it. And this is, they're after your heart for sure. Enhancements are great, but I would prefer them to restrict them to 1 per army. But reintroduce warlord traits. God, I miss those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fun, right?
I mean, I do like the enhancements. You can kind of give it out to your lieutenants, but like. I do miss the combo building of them, of having like an enhanced, like a relic with a character, and you're like, cool, like I made my like 1 unique cool character, which could like actually compete with like the named characters.
Right.
Like it feels good when you have like that custom model. It's just like, nothing sucks when you're like, I made this really cool conversion. You're like, yeah, that's Calgar. That's
I know, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of combo them in the sense that you can have multiple characters join, which again is sort of a have and have nots kind of question. But I do like what they've been doing recently with some of the flexibility, like with Huron and the Masters of the Maelstrom, and the way that they play with the different detachments is like legitimately these new detachments. I'm like, I could build them in a bunch of different ways, and that's really exciting to me, you know. So yeah, Lavender Eyes Force Org also makes starting to play incredibly daunting. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And I think this edition was meant to be lowering the barriers to entry and letting more people in. Whether they succeeded in that, I'm not sure, to be honest, but.
Yeah, I've taken, in like the last 6 months, I've been teaching a lot of people, like new players, how to play. And like one of the biggest challenges is like when they're starting their army, where I'm like, no one wants to hear, buy 3 boxes of these guys. Like that's where you want your start. They're like, I want to buy this guy. I want Terminators. Then I also want Jump Pack guy. Like they usually buy one of which. They want to play like Highlander. And,
Highlander's awesome, man. I love it.
Yeah.
No worries, Wasthammer. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good old less rerolls edition. Yeah, that's also a. They need to work on their communication. So many blunders just because of communication. So many missed, like, because they said in this one article, and then we're like, well, this is the thing, and it's like, that's on them.
Yeah.
That's what I mean in terms of it being a big company where I just think they're just super disjointed.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Definitely some people at the top are not sitting there playing games and.
Right. Or even like along the way too. It's just so playing game telephone. Lord Nico 10th edition got me into the game. Hey, that's awesome. Things made sense and didn't require a chart to play. Yes, no charts.
Yeah. I do think 10th edition has been a very good, like it's been a solid edition. Like the meta's constantly flowed, which is good. You don't want stagnant ones where like one army stays. Like they've addressed a lot of issues like in reasonable times.
Yeah.
They've come out with some really cool armies, and then they've had some really not cool ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're trying to think, Chad, was Drukhari the last codex?
Oh yeah, we were thinking about that. Because again, they've done a good job of keeping us busy.
Because we're like,
despite having no more books coming out.
Yeah.
Right? What is up, Joe Coles? Wait, is this Joe Coles? Joe Coles? The National Treasure. 11th edition narrative should be open like it is now, so you take what you want. Competitive should go do a force org to create a balance restriction. Ooh, yeah.
I could see that.
That's interesting. I think, so it's always an interesting thing, the discussion of like narrative versus competitive. And I think both of us are of the mindset that a balanced game is good for everyone. But also, what does that mean? And I saw a few people talk about Crusade, and that also mirrors our thoughts, where like Crusade is cool. It's a bit too complicated right now. It's too bookkeepy.
Yeah. Crusade was actually awful for narrative when we went to the narrative event in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this is way more sweaty and broken. And it's worse because they're like, it's narrative, so people are like not looking at it. Versus like most people, when you go to a game store, are just playing like a 2,000 point like.
Yeah, well, that's different than narrative, right?
Yeah.
There's like, I know. They don't talk about open play anymore. There's no more of the three things. But there is truly like you're playing a competitive game, you're playing a narrative game, and then you can be more or less casual within those categories, right? So that is for sure a thing. The asymmetric missions did more for narrative than Crusade did.
Yeah.
I love the asymmetric missions because they were real missions that were like fairly, like decently balanced, but forced you to tell that story. We did a couple on pre-recorded, and they were a ton of fun.
I think that's essentially, to me, a narrative game should be asymmetrical.
Yeah. Well, and it was nice too because it was like, once we started playing, we just played.
Yeah.
We weren't forced to role play in order for it to be narrative, which sometimes is the case, right? But if we basically just played to win within the restrictions of the game, it was still narrative because of the design of the mission.
Yeah. The super chat.
Crashing Adam.
Yeah. Does Bridger live in a lighthouse, as I imagine? Well, he has a summer home. He also lives under a bridge as well.
That's true. Yeah. That's the summer home.
Yeah, like when it's warm out, he goes there and then...
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
So we like Crusade, but frankly, whenever we do our own narrative stuff, we just chop up and use what we like, honestly. We get rid of a lot of the structure. We make up some more rules. We get rid of a lot of rules. Yeah. Like the way we do Trench Crusade is very similar to that. And I think it works well.
You guys should watch that.
Yeah, check it out. It's good stuff. So
say nice things about me. I read all the comments.
It's true. He does, actually. Yeah. Crusade is so much bookkeeping. Yeah. So Grand Narrative, because you have to do Crusade in, what was it, 6 games, 5 games?
Yeah, I do 6 games.
They actually chop out a lot of Crusade, and I think that's just the way they should do it all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it. Funny, even speaking of Trench Crusade, the normal campaign is like 12 games. We do like 6, right?
Yeah.
And that way you can do it even in a weekend, right? I feel like longer campaigns are cool, but I kind of think all these systems should just condense it down to something that is manageable for the average player. It's like the classic like D&D group. Like, yes, we all aspire to that long multi-year campaign, which I know you've done, but most of us can hardly get 1 or 2 sessions together. So let's maybe prioritize the shorter term things versus the like lifetime things, because those players will make it work. They'll find a way to do it.
Yep.
You know? So yeah. No, he didn't call him a troll. He said he lives under a bridge.
Yeah.
Like a troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know where his ancestry is. We've always guessed, but I don't know.
We can only presume.
Yeah. He won't give me his blood, so.
Yeah. So I
love Bridger. We're going to be stuck in the car for 8 hours this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Planning between you guys is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So do you have just a couple of minutes? No, you're a problem too.
That's not a problem.
All right, we're just like, are we gonna have space?
Let's kill the stream so we can fight on camera.
Ask Shane, and Shane's like, probably. And I'm like, what do you mean probably? One of us is gonna be stranded.
Okay, so that whole thing is that you always bring some ridiculous display board.
You told me not to. I
because you would have done it otherwise.
Yeah, but like, if I don't do that, do we have space?
It's a Subaru. There's 4 guys in the car.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
You offered to drive because you don't want to be alone and you need friendship and companionship.
I thought you wanted to drive down. Turn off the camera. We're just gonna fight.
All right, that's it. We're done. Cut the feed. Cut the feed. But really, we're gonna be packing up in a couple minutes and then setting up for our live game. We're gonna resolve this on stream, 12 o'clock, 1 hour from now. Again, earlier than normal. So.
Yeah.
So
this is what it's like all
final
the time.
thoughts. Definitely, it seems like there's a lot of trends moving in various directions. I think many or all of them will translate to a next edition. Yeah. Someone was asking if they said if they'll be indexed or not. No, they haven't said anything, frankly. This is all just us being like, well, it's a 3-year cycle, so the presumption is it will probably come out this summer.
They go like every other one of like, we keep the codexes, we do an index, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the traditionally, it's like edition and then edition and a half. So this would be like a 10.5. I say that, but I didn't really think we need this 10th edition, this full rework. I didn't think we need it. So who knows? They could just do that again. Yeah. Unfortunately. But yeah, so there's like no information. Big events coming up. Obviously there's Adepticon, but that might be a bit soon. UKGE, where the Birmingham Open is going to be hosted. I think that would probably be also a good time for them to start talking about it. We'll see. The funny thing is, in a way, as content creators, almost don't want them to start talking about it because that's when everyone stops watching because they're like, whatever, I'm just waiting for next edition. So, you know, this video definitely not going to be doing ourselves favor, but we're just curious and we're noticing these trends. So it's been nice to be able to chat with y'all and kind of see what your thoughts are, what you're excited about, what you're worried about, what are we hoping for. So, yeah. Yeah, I can clown on him for asking to be my friend. That's my job.
Yeah.
There's no dogs currently. Yeah, for better or worse.
My Sasuke.
Wonderful. Oh yeah, folks, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, even if you're watching live. It really does help the algorithm in the way that YouTube does work now. But yeah.
Like I said, I read every comment and it determines how my week goes, so.
It's very true.
Yeah, if you want me to be happy or depressed, let me know.
And if you enjoyed this discussion, we do this every Thursday for members, so consider becoming a member, being a part of that. You also get to join our Tuesday games, vote on that, and get access to all our behind-the-scenes video. So, awesome, glad. We've been loving Votann ourselves.
I've been loving them. Yeah, I ride or die right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
My new identity.
Having a great time. We'll be traveling this weekend, so no Saturday show, but we'll be posting up on like Instagram and stuff like that. So if you want to follow along, do that. Final question of the day, super chat from AKA GLXY. Would bespoke datasheets and/or points be good for shared units, like how Chaos shares units between codexes? Yes.
Yes, they cannot balance them for, like, between codex if you're giving rules.
Exactly. I would be on board for that, honestly.
Like, if you're giving Assault Intercessors +2 strength and +1 attack, it is not comparable to a... Yeah. Should not be the same points as an Intercessor.
Yeah, they don't even have to have separate datasheets if they just said, okay, here's...
And Blood Exodus, what they do with, like, the Imperial agents with, like, if you ally this guy, is different points. I think that's totally justified.
Just do that, and you release new detachments, say, hey, these units go up these points or go down these points. So I think that is the plan. So much new Votann to paint. Oh, that's awesome. So much fun.
All right, team. We'll see you guys at noon.
We will. Comments, I think comments are turned off during live streams. It's a weird YouTube thing. So after we go off, you can leave comments.
Yep.
But thank you so much for your time, your love, your appreciation. We'll catch you all next time on Tabletop. Bye. This is the end screen now.